Warning. On this episode of T11, Terry will talk about alone time.
Plus an embarrassing story. That's one for the books, and why being humble blows.
Let's do this, fellow wombats.
Welcome to T11. Hello, everybody. Hi. As you can tell, I don't have a co-host. I had to use AI to get this thing going. Listen, it's going to be a lot more trial and error, but this is going to be a lot more fun and everything else. But before we get into anything at all, I got to let you know something that happened to me today at the store. Standing there in line, and there's this guy looking at me, and I've seen this look before. I think that he might recognize me, and I don't know what to do at that point. You got to sit there and feel out the situation because you don't want to let down somebody or anything. And he's looking at me, and I finally just kind of make eye contact with him. And I guess he felt comfortable enough and disarmed enough that he could say, "Hey, man, I love your podcast," which shocked me. Usually it's I love Lexa Terry, I love other things. But, the podcast, I was like, wow, that is awesome. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. So we talked a little bit. We chopped it up. The guy was super, super cool. I mean, I felt like I could be his friend, and it felt really, really good. And it really made my day. But there was something missing there at the end, and it was real awkward at the end, and I felt like he wanted a little bit more. And I've been in this situation before, too, and I felt I was picking up the vibe that this guy wanted a picture with me. So I was put in this awkward situation, and I had, I finally just said, I'm going to give it a try. All right, I'll just say, dude, hey, do you want to get a picture or something? And he goes, nah, I'm good. So that's how my year has started. Oh, gosh, it is how I've started. Well, welcome here at Wombats. It's so good to be back with T11. You're probably saying, what's T11? There's already a little bit of controversy about the name change of the podcast. I could change it a million times before now and then because I am not tied out to a specific outcome with this show. I'm not even sure this is a podcast. This might be something called like a vlog because of the plans that I have for this, which I'm going to tell you here in a little bit. But there is already controversy. What is T11? What does it mean? What does it stand for? Well, it could be T for Terry. My basketball number was 11, and basketball was a very important thing to me. So it could be that. That could be T11. It could be because my name's Terry and I was born in the 11th month. Maybe it could be that. But I'm here to tell you, all those guesses, and they're valid guesses, all of them are just a really kind of cool coincidence. I'm not going to tell you what T11 stands for just yet. I will, but I'm here to tell you right now, it is much more powerful than my first name and my basketball number, okay? It is much more powerful, and I wanted there to be a title that you could latch on to as well that could mean something powerful to you, that you could put it in your own, vernacular, own way you want to do it. So that's where we stand right now. But I'm really glad that I waited to start this show, the vacation that we had and everything else, because I'll be honest, I wasn't in a real good place. I was actually feeling foolish. I was feeling foolish for dreaming so big, which is really not like me. I felt like I was kind of running out of my magic, and I needed my magic back. Plus, anybody that has had any sort of success whatsoever, be it personal, professional, or anything else, we all think we've got all the answers. So we do a podcast, we do a blog, we go on speaking tours, we do this, we do that. And I'm not opposed to that, but I don't have any answers. This show is about finding some answers that's going to really take me through the rest of my life. So I want to share and I want to hear from you guys and everything else. And there it is. So it's not that. I really despise these people that think that they've got all the answers because life is not that easy. It isn't. But doing a podcast is pretty easy. This one is going to be a lot more topical. I'm going to be talking about topical things. Still going to probably stay away from political stuff. There's no need for that. Everybody has their mind made up. And when I say that I don't have my mind made up, nobody believes me anyway. So people just want to believe what they want to believe. So I'm going to stay away from that, but it's going to be a lot more topical, a lot more fun, a lot more humor, a lot more dick jokes. 2 episodes a week. Going to be doing them on Monday. You can always count on a show on Monday, but whether it's Monday and Wednesday, Monday and Thursday, it's all going to be depending on my schedule. But I will let you know. Go to my website, terryjames.com. There's a schedule at the top. It will let you know when the podcasts are available. Okay. Plus, I'm going to be able to stream these shows live each week. I'm not streaming right now, as you can tell. It is nighttime. I am not streaming right now because I'm not 100% comfortable doing all the buttons and all that stuff while trying to give you a show. Though these things are all going to come gradually, but I have been informed and reassured that I have the ability now with all the equipment and everything else that I have to be able to do that, plus take phone calls. And I want to have a much bigger YouTube presence as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for doing that. I have a bunch of stuff on YouTube, whether it's cooking with Terry or just little shorts or things like that. But this is going to have a big place in that. And so I have to ask you, ask you to subscribe and like and subscribe. If you're seeing this now on YouTube, please do that. I would really appreciate it, and share the show, review the show, all that kind of stuff like that. So, okay. See, I had this thing where I was going to do this little sound effect when I was changing things, because I really like that on the other podcast. So let me try this. All right. Okay. So we're changing subjects now. Okay. You with me? We're all in this together. You could say you were there when. So on vacation, I've told other people on the Lex and Terry show and a few friends and things like that I needed some alone time. I needed just to be alone with my thoughts. And I found a real cool place to go to where they had some seminars. So it wasn't really alone. There were some seminars and things that I'm very interested in. And I was really excited about doing it. And I came away, I'm not going to say earth shattering or anything like that, but these are things that I'm going to be working on right now. And one of the big thoughts that I had when I was doing this was, I believe that I wasted 15 plus years of my life being humbled. Being humble is a good thing. We're all taught that it's a good thing. Be humble. You got to be authentic. You got to be more real. And I believe that I am with that. I could cry at the drop of a hat and everything else, but I don't think that was a great decision. I thought it was at first. I felt more like me being humbled, and I was just a regular guy, and am and still a regular guy who got lucky in certain areas of my life. But I decided I was going to look up in the dictionary, and I don't know why it took me 15 frickin' years to do this. What exactly does being humbled means? And being humbled, the true definition is being subdued, brought down in life, being lowered in status, being broken, being crushed, being humiliated. That's what being humbled is. So I started thinking, why am I owning this? Why am I so proud of myself for being humbled? What a bunch of crap. I mean, the reality of life is we got ups and downs all the time. There's always going to be ups and downs. Life is not linear at all. So how can you have a swagger and be confident and somewhat cocky where people go, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he's talking about. I'm going to go on a ride with this person and still be a human at the same time. The truth is, we own our lives. And that's what I came up with. I own my life. Life does not own me. And I've been letting life own me, which is pretty freaking sad. I'm not happy about that. I believe that I'm learning a lot of lessons. And I believe that when I got humbled in life, I deserved it. It put me in a place where I was a little too cocky. But I don't think that's ever going to happen to me again. I learned that lesson. 15 years is enough. It's time to get out of my frickin', you know, pity pit and get on with life. Oh, I'm humbled. I'm a real person. Oh, man, I'll never. No, no, you've got to find that balance. And I hate that word, but balance between, like I said, having a little bit of swagger to you, having a little bit of knowledge and confidence behind you, but also being a real human being and being compassionate and caring about others. Because if you concentrate on being humbled, which is exactly what I was doing, you're going to go absolutely nowhere. And here I am throwing that advice at you, but God, I hope it's something you listen to. I also love it when people say, oh, I got my wife to go ahead and keep me grounded. My wife keeps me grounded all the time. My friends, they're there to keep you humble. They're there to keep you grounded. I don't want a wife or friends to do that. Why? When you finally have a time in your life when you're soaring, when you're rising, when things are going good, when everything you touch is turned into gold and you want your family and friends and loved ones to bring you down to a fucking level no, I don't want that. I apologize for cussing. I said I wasn't going to cuss as much. I was very good at the frickin' thing, and then I throw a fucking in there. All right, another thing I learned is that I don't want to play. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this all the time, and I like doing this. And I love doing this. This is who I am. This is part of me. And I don't really want to say that the Lex and Terry show and my podcast and this is my identity, but this is a lot more of who I am than I am on Lex and Terry. I love the Lex and Terry show. I love the challenge of being funny and creating some controversy and whatever it is you do. But this is much more scary. But I don't want to play the algorithms. I don't know how to play the algorithms. I'm an older guy. People don't give older people chances, like I've talked about in previous shows. Nobody's looking at a dude in his early 60s going, hey, that's the next star. Let's get behind him. Let's financially support this guy. You're dead when you're my age. Some people are dead when they're my age, but you are. I mean, I want to refuse that. I'm going to refute that. I don't want to be that person. But the truth is, the people that make a living online are addicted to the likes. They're addicted to the views. They're addicted to the whole thing, and they can't take a day off. I've listened to these podcasts. There's one called Colin and Samir. You may want to check that out. I've listened to these, and they interview the people that are super famous online, whether it's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, and they're doing well. They're making money on it. They interview them and they're horrified. And they're usually younger people that are just broken down. They're very talented, but they're broken down. They're beat up. They're afraid to take time off. They're afraid to do anything. They post something, a video, and then they watch the likes and see if it matches their other YouTube views, or if not surpasses them. That's what you're going for, I guess. I'm not going for that. I'm just letting you guys and other people into my life. My sometimes funny, sometimes boring, sometimes tragic, sometimes just stupid life. In kind of this vlog 2 times a week for now, maybe more. Show. I'm going to have guests. I'm going to have some cool guests where we talk about certain subjects. Some of them will be famous. Some of them won't. I look forward to the ones that aren't famous. When you interview famous people, you usually have things you have to talk to them about. They have something they want to promote. They actually have questions. Hey, ask them this and ask them that, because they can spend 10 minutes talking about how losing a loved one changed their whole life. I like to find that out in normal conversation. And there's the only way to do that is by talking to regular people that are friends, sometimes family members, sometimes just people that that nobody else has heard of, but you've stumbled across some way. Bottom line is I'm just a guy who still believes he deserves more than he has. Does that sound weird? Does that sound selfish? I think we all deserve more than we have. If we're a good person, we support others. I think we all deserve more than we have. All right, so this one's going to be a little shorter. Today's going to be a little shorter. I'm going to be back on Thursday with a brand new T11, and I'm going to be talking about, I got it written down here, promises that I made to myself as a kid. And I'm sure that we've all made promises to ourselves. When I get older, I'm going to be fit. I'm going to make this amount of money. I'm going to own this kind of car. It's usually we're looking at the things we don't have. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. Turns out, as a kid, I was pretty crazy. Not in a crazy, like, get away from this kid kind of way. Just my thoughts. I don't think they were like anybody else's. And I think in certain areas of my life, it's really expanded me. It's made me go leaps and bounds past what anybody expected of me. In other ways, I think that it's limited me. So we're going to be talking about that. Plus, we have a brand new segment called the Weekly Rave, which I'm excited about. I want to turn you on to whether it's new products or new things out there in the world. I'm going to turn you on to those. But in the meantime, I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And it's really good to be back here with you on the very first, I guess it is, the first real episode of T11. Thank you.